What time is it now? It's time for Mr. Cinema Junkie to bring you his S selection for the Alphabet of Awesome movies. And man, as many Q titles as I didn't have, I have a ton of S titles. Man, was it hard narrowing it down. I was going to go for something bizarre, crazy, nuts, wild, but it doesn't have to be all that to be an awesome movie. And this movie embodies quite a few different elements for me. It had suspense, it had thrills, a little bit gore, some horror elements, not so much, but definitely the suspense, and it kept me entertained, kept me locked in, and that movie is Seven. Morgan Freeman, Brad Pitt, on the trail of a killer who bases his murders on the 7 deadly sins. Each person he kills represents each one of those sins. And at first, these two are not really... They're kind of like locking horns with one another. You have the older, more experienced, about to retire cop, and then the young hotshot who's out to prove something. But of course, as with most cop movies go, you have two guys at odds, and then they finally get on the same page and start working together. And they uncover some pretty atrocious stuff. You know, I mean, from one guy who's killed for under the sin of sloth. He makes him eat till he dies. When they do the autopsy on it, it's pretty nasty because it talks about how his stomach was ripped and perforated, and it's like he ate till he burst, basically. And they show his stomach. It's like, this is way heavier than it should be, and they're showing this big sloppy stomach in the bag. It's vanity. Just, you know, if you know anything about the 7 deadly sins, you can pretty much get an idea of what he's killing people for or why he's killing them. I think one of the scenes in there that I think might have benefited from just a little bit added footage, and I might kind of get myself labeled here for this, but the scene with the hooker, where the guy was forced to wear the harness with the knife on it, and he had to have sex with her with the knife on it. Yeah. They got there after the fact. She was already dead, but can you imagine the scene intact where he's making him have sex with her? I'm sure that was a little too much for its time, but who knows? Maybe one day. The ending, it culminates to an excellent ending. One that I have to say, the first time I saw this movie, I didn't see it coming. Not a mile, not at all. Excellent ending. It just had everything that a good movie should have. Good pacing, great antagonist, and just a really good balance of all these elements in one movie. It never, to me, it never lacked in any one part. Everything was paced out just right, and it just culminated into one of the most incredible endings in a movie ever. So that's my selection for the S's for the Alphabet of Awesome Movies. 7. Check it out if you haven't seen it already. I highly recommend it. Thanks.